Well, hello and welcome to another backstage interview from the Metals Investor Forum. I'm Gwen Preston, Resource Maven, and I am happy to be joined by Peter Akerley of Erdene Resource Development Corp. Peter, nice to see you.
Hi, Gwen. Great to be back.
So let's start with the thing, which is that, we probably had a conversation similar to this, I don't know, a year ago or even 2 years ago before that COVID thing happened. And the timelines for building the mine at Bayan-Khundii were different. Perhaps it would have already been producing by now, and that isn't the reality. Do you want to just give us an update on that situation, the mine building side of this story?
Certainly, yeah. We had a busy year in 2021, gearing up for the initial early works production period. Moving through the permitting phase, we secured our detailed environmental impact assessment in December of last year. So everything moved according to plan during that period, somewhat slowed by COVID. And now we're at that point where we can begin our early works. Those early works will include things like temporary camp, bulk earthworks, fencing. And those projects we intend to commence work on as we move through Q1 into Q2. The issue really is when you look out a little bit further at full construction and the continued closure of the border between China and Mongolia. That is a significant risk for the project once we enter full construction. And that's the part that we're really monitoring and measuring what those impacts may be. I think that will become clearer as we pass through Q1 and we see what happens on the Chinese side post-Olympics, post-National Congress in March, and see if they look to open up their borders. But that's really the caution that I have on that. Our asset is only getting better. We continue to grow ounces. It's not going anywhere, but we'll be measuring that full start of construction as we move into Q2 of this year.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, the worst case scenario would be to get into construction, to need that thing that is stuck at the border, and then to be in limbo waiting for that thing to show up, right? That's an expensive proposition.
Absolutely. Those risks are very significant, and it's our job to protect shareholders' value, and that'll be part of the equation as we move forward. As I said, the asset's not going anywhere. It only gets better, and we look forward to getting to that first gold, but along the way, we'll be careful with our shareholders' money.
Well, the sort of blessing in disguise side of it is that instead of being very focused on building a mine right now, which is something that takes a lot of focus when it happens, you can focus on exploration, and exploration is returning incredible stuff for you of late. Capture for me what you would like to accomplish on the exploration front. I mean, assuming that construction doesn't overtake your thinking as leading the company, what would you like to accomplish on the exploration side this year?
So we've had a tremendous 2021 with the discovery of both Ulaan and Dark Horse. And I kind of set them into different baskets in terms of what we would like to do with them and the impacts they can have on this development. Dark Horse has provided some low-hanging fruit in the form of extremely high-grade, bonanza-grade oxide sitting at surface. We continue to step out on those initial discoveries and are expanding that oxide zone as we speak. We should have some more results coming out in the coming weeks. Whereas Ulaan is this, massive intersections of gram material. We're hitting 100 to 300 meters of a gram of gold with, core zones of 40 to 70 meters of 2 to 3 grams. So I see that as longer term major expansion opportunity and plenty of room for expansion there as we move into exploration to the west of that in 2022. So one is sort of enhancement of the current operation, increasing our production over that first several years, whereas Ulaan is that major expansion as we look out 3, 4, 5 years from now. Both have drill core in the lab, and we should have results for both as we move into the next several weeks through February. As for what we'd like to accomplish with exploration in 2022, the drilling of that oxide zone, although it may still expand, there's close enough spacing now where I can get that established as a reserve. And we'll look to do that. So we have that resource core we can add into the initial development. Looking at that bigger picture, we are working with a number of independent experts globally to sort of reinterpret the overall system. We've learned a lot and gained a lot in 2021, and now it's pulling it back into a cohesive package and looking at where we go next. There's a tremendous amount of opportunity on these two licenses, Hundi and Ulaan. Just as an example, when we discovered the Dark Horse discovery early last year, we had just hit some new zones at Altanero that were running 10 to 30 grams that we've never followed up on. So those are the kind of things that we still have to follow up exploration with in this district, and we'll continue that work in 2022. I expect as we come out of Q1, we'll announce to the market and to our shareholders those plans in more detail, but I do expect a robust exploration program throughout 2022.
Fantastic. I mean, there's just, it's been fun following the Erdene story 4 or 5 years now, and watching the evolution of your understanding of the structural geology and how it all works, and then the fruits of that labor in the discoveries that you made in 2021, and that's what makes me like that the construction has been postponed a little bit because of this focus on exploration and the other things that you might find.
It truly is a special deposit, and I talk about deposit now, Dark Horse, Ulaan, Bayan Hundi, they're all part of the same system. This is a very large epithermal system overprinted on a porphyry intrusive system. And, I've said this multiple times, but I truly feel that we've just scratched the surface. It's shallow drilling. Probably 85-90% of the surface area hasn't been tested by drilling yet. It's truly very exciting. So.
Fantastic. Well, I look forward to seeing that those exploration plans when they come out. And interesting to hear also just that note about, getting through the Olympics and getting through the Congress in China. I hadn't thought about the fact that there might be some actual timeframes for when that border question might get some answers.
Right. Yeah. Let's hope we pass those and see things start to open up.
Yes. Well, best of luck with all of that. And thanks for taking the time.